Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Transformers Friday from the Toybox edition. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Transformers Generation 1 Powermaster Optimus Prime and High Q. Let's get into it! Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories, and the figure is in alt mode, of course. So first up, let's take a look at these cannons, and yes, mine are yellowed quite a bit, so I'm sure you can like peroxide wash them and stuff, but I'm really not going to do that at this point. So nice molded detail, and it was all molded in some gray plastic originally. And then you can see it's got two little tabs right there for the Powermaster to sit in, or other Powermasters. So there's two of those, and they are exactly alike. I can't even hold on to that one. And again, yes, it is quite yellowed. So, but rather cool looking. I always like those guns. Next up, let's take a look at his rifles. And nice molded details in there. There is quite a bit of waffling. So, see, waffling's been going on forever in Transformers. And yes, it probably needs a little bit of cleaning too. So, very nice looking piece, and there's two of those that are exactly alike. And they work well with this figure. Here we have his super mode head. It's got a post right here where it plugs in. It's got some nice paint apps for the eyes and around the eyes and the face mask, and this nice silver paint app right here for his crest. And two big old screws in the back. So that's cool. Then the last accessory piece, or another figure if you want to call it that, is High Q. And again, he's got a little bit of something there on his crotch. I'm not gonna get into all that. The gray part back here is yellowing a little bit as well. And you can see he's got two silver posts right there and two right there for his articulation. The arms right here just snap on. It's got a nice little paint app there for the visor, and two little dots right there as well. And as far as the articulation and transformation and stuff, we'll get into that later. Now, Prime doesn't roll so well anymore. He kind of is dragging a little bit. So, what I have to say, the trailer does look nice. I've always liked this trailer except for the fist sticking up right here. That's the only thing I didn't like. But you can kind of cover that up when you put the accessories on there. And again, it's got some yellowing going on these gray parts. And then it's got a nice sticker, and that's on both sides. And this one is in pretty good condition. It's got some stickers here on the back, not quite as in good condition because he's usually in super mode standing on top of these. And these two flaps do open up, and they open up all the way down, so you could probably put like a throttle bot or something in there and have him roll down the ramp. But what I like to use it for is when he's in his vehicle mode, you can store the head in there. And then close that back up. So that's pretty cool. Now as far as the cab goes, it looks okay. It's not nearly as detailed as the original G1. And again, it's got some gray in here. A little bit of the silver has, well, a lot of the silver here around the grill has come off. It's just that one little band around there. And then it's got some silver here for the headlights and then for the bumpers. Well, stickers for the windshields and the windows on the side and the stripe as well. And they're all in pretty decent condition, I would say, not great. And it's got some stickers right there and some Autobot stickers right there, which look weird because they're upside down in this mode. And you can see this piece right here is what connects the trailer to the cab. And it's just this little post right here. Goes in that little port right there. And it's a pretty tight fit, so you know it will turn. Just expect that you will have to work at it just a little bit. Got some robot parts showing, but for the most part it's okay. And as far as storage of accessories go, the two rifles go on these ports on the top here. You can face them forward or backward, whichever way that you like. And then these cannons post right here, and there's a port right here in the top of the arm. And you do that on both sides. And just angle them up a little bit. Now you can see the fists are kind of gone behind the guns. You can't really see them. And then as far as storage for Haikyuu, I guess we have to go ahead and do his transformation. So he's got a hinge here and a hinge here, and the leg just bends right on up like this and like that, and he's an engine. And how he stores is this piece is spring loaded, and you do, to transform the cab into regular Optimus Prime, he does have to be in place, and it may take you a few times to get Haikyuu in there properly. But once you get him in there, pull his legs out just a little bit, and that'll help him stay in place. So there you have it, my friends. There's a look at the figure and his accessories in alt mode. It's time for alt mode comparisons. And here I'm going to roll in 25th anniversary G1 reissue of Optimus Prime. And as you can see, I've got the backs, let's see, the back of the trailers are lined up, and you can see this Prime is a little more, he's a little longer with the trailer, or at least it looks that way. He's really not. Actually, the other one's actually longer. You can't see it because of the angle, and it's a little taller as well, which you can see. So there is that. That's pretty cool. And then here we have the Walmart exclusive Generation 1 reissue Bumblebee with the media accurate head sculpt. And so you can see they don't size up real well at all there. Here we have the Titans Returns Legends class Bumblebee. And as you can see, they scale up a little bit better. At least I think they do. Lastly, we have the Amazon exclusive Generation Selects War for Cybertron trilogy Leader Class Alternate Universe Optimus Prime and his trailer. And you can see there is quite a bit of difference here in the back, even though it doesn't look like it from this angle. The backs are lined up, or approximately. So you can see he's a good bit shorter and not as long either. So there we have it, my friends. Alt mode comparisons. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the comedy portion of our program where I attempt to transform this transformer. So first up, let's transform Optimus into his base mode. And you want to remove the cab, and there went Haikyuu shooting across the review area. So remove all of the accessories, and then if I remember correctly, which I don't have the instructions still, so you can fold these down. I think it's just to get them out of the way for this part, and then you want to pull carefully the legs apart. Mine are really stiff. Those joints in there are really stiff, and those ratchets don't want to work, so you have to be really careful with it. And it just does not want to do it. So hang on just a minute, folks, and let me off camera this. Alright, so I got that taken care of. As you can see, the legs are, you know, full splits right there. So then you want to lay this flat. Then these flip out, and you leave these right like they are. So flip that out, and then this ramp flips out. And again, on the other side, you want to do that as well. So you flip all those out, and then this gun flips around, and you kind of angle it up like that. And then this part is like the inside of the base. And I want to say, if I remember correctly, the arms rotate like this out, and then you put the rifles in it, and it's like a turret type. Well, not really a turret because nobody sits in it, but I'm guessing you control it from inside the area, and you kind of, you know, you can angle those up or leave them straight out, however you want to do it. And then these pieces, there's on the inside of the leg here, you see there's a little post or post on the gun, and it just ports in there. And you do the same thing over here on this side. And if you don't want them blocking up the ramps in or on, you can do that. Then there's really nowhere to put the headpiece. And now that I've retrieved Haikyuu, I'll show you how he fits on those guns. You can see there's two little tabs right here. And you basically leave his legs up like this, except at the knees. You want to rotate them down. And his little crotch piece right here is what tabs in between those two tabs. And I know that looks sounds kind of weird, but there you go. And the other, I don't have any other Powermasters, so I assume that they will fit in the other turret as well, or this one, you know, whichever way that you need to do it. And then of course, you know, he can be wherever in the base, on the inside or whatever, wherever you need him to be. And he does have some decals in there, and here and here, and they're all in really good condition because most of them don't see the light of day. So there's those. There's some up under here. There's a nice one right there, and these right here. And again, they're in pretty good condition. So there is the base mode. So I'm going to try to do all of this before Super Prime. So as far as this goes, we'll just move this out of the way for now. And we'll take a look at the cab's transformation. We turn IQ back into the engine, and we have to put him back into his spot. Of course, you don't have to put him in here if you can remember to push in that little piece. You can transform him without him in place, but this is the gimmick for it, is you put him in place and then it releases where you can move these legs down, because if you try to do it without him, you could break it. So you put the legs down like that, you flip the crotch piece down, then the feet, where'd these feet go? They go that way, and it's real tight, and it's probably because it's old and it's probably rusty as all get out in there. So then you raise that up. Well, you raise that up. I'll raise that up so you can see what I was doing. So then you flip these panels back, and you can see he's got some decals on the inside here, and again, they look pretty good for their age. And then you flip his arms down, and there's some more decals right there and an Autobot logo right there. And then finally you flip his head out. So there is the cab transformed. And there's IQ because he popped out again. Now that, my friends, is transformation of the base and the cab. Let's take a look at the figures and, well, no accessories because they're all on the base. But you can take one of the rifles, and we'll do that real quick if I can get it out of the base. Fits in there pretty good, I have to say that. So you can take one of the rifles and plug it in his hand, and he can kind of hold it. It's really too big for him. You can put it out to the side like original G1 Optimus Prime. So there's that. That really takes care of accessory part. But let's move Prime out of the way. We'll take a look at Haikyuu first, although I think we already did, really. So as far as his articulation goes, since we already covered the paint apps and the details and stuff, his arm raises up that high, and it goes all the way back. And then, of course, his legs do that. And that's the extent of his articulation. Prime got a nice silver paint app right here for the crest, and the face plate and his face, and then some red for the eyes. But that could be separate pieces in there rather than paint apps. Nice Autobot decal right here. Nice decals right here on the forearm. Silver plastic, I think, right here for the grill, and then these two silver stickers. These blue stickers for the windows, and I have to say the stickers on this are in pretty good condition for the most part. Got one there in the crotch, got some there on the legs and on the shin. And it does have some nice molded details throughout. And, you know, this really isn't supposed to be the main mode for this Optimus Prime. Now, as far as his articulation goes, at the elbows, it goes up and down like this. So he can, you know, put his arms all the way up. That's mainly for transformation. He does have a waist bend, but that's only if Haikyuu is plugged in or at the hip bend, I guess you could say. And then, you know, there is a joint here, and mine are really, really tight, so I don't want to force it. So it'll move forwards and backwards at this joint. And it has to do it together because unfortunately they're connected together. They do not separate. And then the foot does tilt, but it's only for transformation. So not really any articulation on this one to speak of other than the elbows, but you know, that was common for a lot of stuff in G1. So that, my friends, does it for a look at the cab's robot mode. Next up, robot mode comparisons. It's time for my favorite part of a Transformers review, robot mode comparisons. And here we have the Transformers Generation 1 Powermaster Optimus Prime's cab's robot mode with the Walmart exclusive Generation 1 reissue Bumblebee with media accurate head sculpt, and the Transformers Generation 1 25th anniversary reissue Optimus Prime. Here we have the Transformers Generation 1 Powermaster Optimus Prime regular mode, or cab Optimus Prime, with the Transformers Titans Returns Legends class Bumblebee and the Walmart exclusive Netflix War for Cybertron trilogy Earthrise Leader class Optimus Prime. Now, welcome to the second comedy portion of our program, where I attempt to transform this Transformer again into Super Mode Optimus Prime. I've already removed all the accessory pieces from the base, and we'll go ahead and we'll start with Optimus because he's pretty simple. Close the head down, fold the arms up at the elbow, move them back into place. Basically, you're turning him right back into truck cab mode. Straighten the feet out, and then you can either put high Q in or mash that little button right there in to fold the legs down. Oops, and I forgot to flip the crotch piece up. You got to flip that crotch piece up. Then you can put those back down into place, and at these knee joints here, which I don't think you have to put that in, but no, gonna have to do it off screen, folks. Alright, so I've got all that done, and you can see you just fold the legs at the, I guess, knees, if you want to call them that. Fold it up behind the cab, and you can go ahead and take the Super Prime head, and you see that port right there with the screw in it. There's a post right here, and you just insert that in like that. Then we'll move that out of the way, and we'll move high Q out of the way as well, and those accessories. So what you want to do here is flip this compartment up. Well, not really a compartment, is it? Fold this down across that. Flip the ramps up, then fold these back into position like this. Oops, watch out for the arm. You can fold the arms in to get them out of the way if you want to, but you'll just have to fold them right back out. And then you can see you've got this like this, so then you take and go off camera to fix the legs. And then once you have the legs back straight like this, you just put the arms down. And let me back the camera off a little bit so we can get a better view of it. Beep. There we go. So then you have the trailer transformed mostly into the body, and you take the cab portion, which is all folded up, and we'll go ahead and see if we can't get high Q to go back into place like he's supposed to, even though he doesn't technically need to, but in super mode he's really supposed to be in place. At least that was the way I always saw it in the comic books. Didn't really have this in the cartoon. And he doesn't want to go in. So let me take this off screen and not waste your time. Alright, so maybe I've got him in there now. And then you just take and slide him into place. And you can see these hinges right here on the cab. They just go right behind these L-shaped pieces. And it just slides in there. And it's held in place with friction. And as far as the other accessories go, put the rifles in his hands. Clip the other guns to his arms. I guess he could hold these in his hands if you want him to. No, it's really not designed to do that. And there goes IQ popping out again. He does not want to stay in place, my friends. So there we have Optimus Prime transformed into a super mode minus IQ. Let's take a look at the figure in his second robot mode or super mode. Bring him up close. Adjust the camera. And let's start with just taking a look at it. And you can see mine's dusty, and I tried to dust it off a little bit, but it just didn't all come off. So anyway, we've got some nice silver here for the face and the faceplate. Nice red for the eyes. But some of this could be separate pieces. In fact, the eyes, the face and mask and the head could all be separate pieces stuck in there. But I still believe, I'm not sure. I think this is a paint app. This is, I'm pretty sure. The eyes, I think, are just red plastic as a separate piece in there. He's got some nice foil stickers here on the shoulders of Autobot logos, and then some of the stickers we talked about already in the other modes. Got a crotch sticker, got some knee stickers, got some top of the feet stickers. And then we've got these stickers here on the side. Nothing really going on in the back. And, you know, this guy's nicely molded for, you know, almost 40 years ago. And, you know, it's not a bad one. Not my favorite Optimus Prime. The first G1 Optimus Prime, of course, is my favorite. But in the comic books, I really like this version of Prime when he stayed in his super mode. And even though he wasn't that much bigger in the comic books, in the Marvel comics, you know, in this mode, he wasn't much bigger than what he is normally. Just, you know, a little bit so. And the same with, like, there was Scorponok a lot of the time toward the end of the series was his opposite as leader of the Decepticons. And he was a lot smaller than how he was depicted in other media. And Optimus and Scorponok were about the same size. So, there is that. But, you know, I like the sculpted details throughout this. You know, they usually did a really good job in G1 of sculpting things out, even if it lent itself more toward the vehicle mode. And, you know, that's how I really feel. G1 focused more on the alt mode first and then the robot mode second. And, you know, that was fine. But, you know, with stuff nowadays, we get stuff that looks much more accurate in robot mode. And fairly decent usually in the alt modes. So, let's take a look really quick at his articulation. He can't look up, no chicken neck. He can't do the full exorcist. He can kind of look down, if you count that. At the shoulders, he can raise his arms up past 90 degrees. Pretty good bit there. So that's pretty cool. He can rotate his arms 360 degrees. And that's pretty much it. There's nothing at the waist. The legs, of course, you can split apart. That's mainly for the base mode. But, you know, if you needed to, you could do that. I'm not going to do that with this one, since how I had such a hard time with getting it to transform into base mode. The ratchets were really, really tight, and I don't want to risk breaking something. And then, of course, like we talked about during transformation, the weapons just kind of go on here. Rifles in his hands, and the double barrel cannons on or about his shoulders. And that, my friends, is a look at the figure in his super robot mode. It's time for more robot mode comparisons. And in the back there, we have the Transformers Generation 1 Powermaster Optimus Prime. And on the front row, we have the Walmart exclusive Generation 1 reissue Bumblebee with media accurate head sculpt. And the 25th anniversary Generation 1 reissue Optimus Prime. Again, in the back, we have the Transformers Generation 1 Powermaster Optimus Prime with the Transformers Titans Returns Legends Class Bumblebee and the Walmart exclusive Netflix War for Cybertron trilogy Earthrise Leader Class Optimus Prime. For final thoughts on the Transformers Generation 1 Powermaster Optimus Prime, for his day, he was a really good Transformer. I wouldn't say he's a great Transformer, but, you know, he filled that gap, I guess, in your collection if you missed out on the original Optimus Prime. And also, if you wanted one that, you know, was slightly cooler and had cooler features, you know, the features on this one were kind of cool, especially back in the day. I like that not only does the trailer transform into a robot body, but also transforms into a base for Power Masters and Headmasters. Mostly Power Masters, I suppose, though. And maybe even mini-bots. So, you know, I think that was a cool feature of this. And just the overall look of this Optimus Prime is cool, especially if you were a reader of the Marvel Comics. And, you know, after in issue 24, spoiler alert, in issue 24, Optimus Prime, the original version of Optimus Prime, does, you know, get unalived, so to speak. But his brain patterns were saved on a floppy disk. That had to have been a really big floppy disk, folks. And then later, that floppy disk was used to put Optimus Prime's memories and personalities, brain engrams, into the Power Master body. And then he binary bonded with Haikyuu from Nebulos so that he could defeat some Decepticons there on Nebulos. At least that's what I remember of the story. But, you know, after that, and I forget what issue it was when they brought Optimus Prime back, but once they did, it was pretty much this Optimus Prime continuing on from there. And, you know, just this look of Optimus Prime, he was always this, you know, a little beefier than the original and armed more, but still our same beloved Optimus Prime. But as far as, you know, this figure goes, you know, it filled that gap in the toy line. Not only if you missed the original release of it, but, you know, if you wanted to keep up with the versions that were in the comics, and even, I guess, the end of season 3 of the animated show. So there's that. And because this was the Optimus, I think, that really appeared more in the comics, he's more, I like this version of Optimus Prime better, I suppose. I always thought the armed up version of him looked cooler than, you know, the not so armed up version, but that's just me. But I really think this one has a really good base mode, and, you know, the robot modes are a little lacking articulation and maybe sculpt even by today's standards. And, you know, you look at this guy and compare it to some of the newer stuff, and it does look kind of goofy and stuff, but it is what it is, because this is what things were in the 80s. This is what Transformers were, and we didn't know any better, so we loved it, and we still love it. I still love it. I still love this Optimus Prime figure, even though they've done a modern version of it, the Titans Returns Powermaster Optimus Prime, even though it didn't really have the Powermaster gimmick, and it had the Headmaster or Titan Master gimmick. So, and that one's okay. It's not great. I still don't think they've done a great version of Powermaster Optimus Prime. So here's, you know, hoping that maybe one day we will get it. Maybe not necessarily Studio Series, but maybe Hasbro will do a Commander class, since how they just did Commander class G1 Optimus Prime. They just released the images for that, or actually they were leaked and then they released them and put him up for pre-order. But, you know, if you're a G1 fan and you don't really like the modern stuff, you know, this is a pickup, and I'm sure a lot of people have it in their collections already, because, you know, it's Optimus Prime, and I always wanted the Apex armor and God Bomber, or whatever his name was, even though I didn't, you know, when I was a kid, I didn't know anything about that. This is all we knew as a kid. But as an adult, you know, I've seen it several times, and I always kind of wanted one with those pieces. And I know they've done reissues of it here and there, but I just didn't feel the need to do it. But, you know, it looks cool with the Apex armor and even more armed up with that additional stuff. And of course that stuff turns into a secondary trailer that he hauls behind his standard trailer when in alt mode. But, you know, I'm not a real big fan of the Japanese continuation of stuff. I think it's too Japanified, I guess. You know, story-wise, just the Transformers are, you know, all of a sudden, a lot of the Transformers are robot bodies that are controlled by humans rather than, you know, being partners or what have you, like in the more Western telling of it. And, you know, because I'm in the United States and that's how I grew up, that's my preferred reasoning behind, you know, the Power Masters and the Headmasters and stuff, is that they're bonded, and when you know, they become one doesn't control the other. I may be in the robot mode, the robot's personality may be a little more dominant, but, you know, it doesn't necessarily subsume the humanoid component. Well, I've waxed philosophical about this figure long enough. That does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both, that's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's our wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.